Hello, everyone. I think I'm a few seconds early, but I'm so glad that you could join me live tonight. Welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. Today is Monday, January 21st, 2019. I am so glad that you guys could be here. Whether you're returning or this is your first time, I'm so glad that you've come by. I hope that I could inspire you with a really cute and simple card tonight. I want to take just a minute and introduce you to Megan. If you're here during the live chat, you'll see Megan's name in blue along the side. Remember, in order to chat during the live video, you'll need to make sure that you are signed into your YouTube account. It's the only way that you're able to chat. Megan's here to help moderate comments, be able to answer questions, because once I turn the camera down to the stamp table, I'm so busy stamping, sometimes I don't have the time to look up, and I don't want to miss those. Just so you know, I do come back and read every single comment. If you have questions, I will pin the responses to the very top of the chat under the regular chat comment section once we're all done. I'm just so glad to see so many familiar names and so many new ones. What do you say we get started, okay? I'm going to turn the camera down, so here we go. Give me just a second to get you all zoomed in here and make sure that you can see really well. I think we're good. I am going to be using the stamp set called Incredible Like You, and I know there's a little bit of glare off of the studio lights. There's not too much I can do about that if we want to have some light, so bear with me. I've got my little fancy LED light on there too, hoping that's going to help deflect some of that. I need to just scroll through my iPad really quick to make sure I can kind of see what's going on, because I want to be able to see your comments even though I can't answer them all. All right, super simple card, super simple. So I am going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm actually going to do this as a live, as a layer. Hold on one second, I got to turn off the sound. Oh, hold on guys, I'm so sorry. There we go. There's nothing worse than hearing yourself back on feedback. All right. Flirty Flamingo is the color that I've chosen. I want you to keep in mind that you're going to be able to alter this color no matter what you want to choose. So this layout's going to work with whatever color scheme you're really going for. And you know what? I've got a great little project for you at the end that works with this. So make sure you hang with me. I'm going to be using that small little flower. And again, that's from Incredible Like You. Here it is right here. We're also going to be using this dotted image, and I want to point that out as well because I think they're really small, this one especially. I'm afraid you won't be able to see it well in the live, so I want to make sure I point that out. You're going to find the Incredible Like You stamp set here in the Occasions catalog. Now, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like to receive a complimentary copy of the Occasions catalog and or the annual catalog, I would be more than happy to send them to you. Just leave me a comment below. And I'll also include a copy of the current sale brochure. The products in this brochure are absolutely free with a minimum of $50 product purchase before shipping and tax. And for those of you with a large wish list, there are even other products available with a $100 wish list. So I want to make sure that you know that you'll get all those if you're interested in receiving the catalogs and don't already have a demonstrator. I'm going to start by stamping a couple flowers. So I'm going to stamp one here, and I'm going to turn, I'm going to stamp another one here, and I think I'm going to do another one down here. So a little bit of a small cluster, nothing special. I'm going to go ahead and put that on my scrub. It's off camera. I'm going to go ahead and slide that out of the way, and I'm going to bring in the Pear Pizzazz ink. Now that image that I just showed you just a second ago with those little clusters of little, I don't know, they look kind of like flowers, don't they? Kind of almost like seeds. They work inside the stems here, and they also can be added inside here to give you the illusion of buds or like little petals. But I'm going to use it in a different way tonight. I'm actually just going to use the top portion of this stamp. So I want to give you a little bit of a tip. The great thing about the Stampin' Up! Ink pads is that this side here is very, very shallow. So I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to concentrate just on this little one spot right here. And I'm going to ink that up right here on the ink pad. I want to make sure I'm right inside your view. I'm going to do my best only to get that one. And because that ink pad is slightly raised off of the case, I'm able to concentrate just on that image I want. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp myself some little leaves there. And I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to ink it very gently. And I'm going to turn this. I think I'm going to put this one down here. And I think that's good for right now. If I need to fill in, I can. I'm going to go ahead and clean that right off camera. And I'm going to slide that out of the way. And I'll move that ink pad out of the way as well, what I call the danger zone. Open ink pads around me sometimes can be quite dangerous. I brought in a piece of scratch paper because I'm going to do some border stamping. And I'm going to be using the Memento ink. Now, when I saw the Incredible Like You stamp set and I saw this line, I thought, oh, that's really kind of neat. That would make some really cool borders. But I thought, you know what? That's kind of predictable, and I wanted to try something different. So here I've got the image mounted, and you're going to notice, if you can kind of see it, I know there's a little bit of a glare. The lines are not straight, and they're not meant to be straight. They look almost hand-drawn. So there's really a lot of forgiveness when you're using this stamp, and I absolutely love that. So let me slide this out of the way. I'm going to open up my ink pad. Whenever my stamp is the same size or larger than my ink pad, I prefer to use it face up. Now, this is a great tip for you, and I'll tell you why this is important. Go ahead and hold your ink pad by the size, and you're going to go ahead and ink it face up. This is going to ensure that you don't miss a spot, because Lord knows I have done that when I'm trying to ink it the other way, because it's really, really easy to miss. So I'm going to bring this back on top of my scratch paper here. And since it's photopolymer, I can kind of see where I'm going. So I'm just going to kind of gravitate here towards those flowers, and I'm going to press. Pretty good size stamp. So make sure you trace out that design and take your time, and then I'll lift. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, and this time I'm only going to go a little bit of it because I don't need the whole thing. And there we go. We've got that inked up. And I'm going to come on the other side of this image now, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Lots of firm, even pressure. And a lift. Simple, 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 simple. Okay, I like to stamp off all my excess ink on my scratch paper or grid paper if you have it. I absolutely love the grid paper because it's got the lines and it makes life nice and easy. So I like to stamp off to reduce the ink that's on here. So when you go to clean your stamp on your Stampin' Chamois or your Stampin' Scrub, you're going to find you're going to make less trips to the sink to rinse it out if you've been in a stamping marathon like I have been lately. It's going to keep it cleaner longer because you've reduced the amount of ink coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide that right off camera. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back in over here, and I'm going to add a greeting to this. Now, I chose to use a greeting from a different stamp set, and I'm going to go back to the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm using the words Happy Birthday. Now, the words in here are absolutely amazing because they're mixed fonts, which makes them beautiful on just about any type of card. And look at this. Did you know that this image fills this row? So you don't even have to worry about coloring it in if you choose not to. You've got some leaves, you've got some stems that you can build, and some beautiful little background dots here. And you're going to notice that this stamp set, well, it looks textured, doesn't it? Because it really is. And it's going to give the visual appearance of it being more like a photograph than it does a stamp. But aside from these images, which I didn't think those greetings might work too well above this line, I decided to try this one. This is Itty Bitty Birthdays. And I'm loving this stamp set simply because I've got greetings for both the outside and the inside of my stamps, of my cards. And this one, of course, is going to be also inside the Occasions catalog. So you're going to be able to find this is a brand new stamp set. Really loving that. So I've got that mounted here. I've got my Happy Birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink that up. I like to check to make sure I don't have ink all around the outside because sometimes I get a bit zealous. And then I'm going to stamp that right here, right above those lines. And my head's pretty far, so I'm going to do my best. And there we go. Not bad. Not bad for the distance I'm away. I'm going to go ahead and close these up. Like I said, an open ink pad around here is always a bit of a disaster. I'm loving these new stamp cases. We came out with these this last year, and I'm really digging the fact that they stack so well, and I love it. They're so much thinner. I'm able to transport them with a lot less space. I'm going to work now with a base of cardstock, and I'm actually going to continue with Whisper White. And I'm going to start by folding this in half. I know some of you like to score. That's totally fine. I do too sometimes. Bone folder for that nice crisp edge on my card. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take some dimensionals. And when I say some, I'm going to be real generous with this. I'm going to be mailing this card, and I want to make sure that as it goes through the rollers and that mail meter at the post office, that it's going to come out looking pretty much like when I made it. So it's not going to come out sagging. So I'm going to place them around the outside perimeters and, of course, one in the center. Now we do sell foam adhesive strips. They are a bit thicker and a bit denser, and those of course could be used here as well. But you know, dimensionals are really inexpensive, easy to use. Now I keep my fingernails pretty short, so sometimes I find these paper backings kind of challenging for me to get off. So I want to give you a little bit of a tip. In addition to that, I have really bad osteoarthritis in both of my hands. Yeah, that's probably from years and years of stamping. So what I like to do is if I'm having trouble, I take my fingernail on my thumb and I press it inside that paper backing. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have sticky on it. And look, I took them all off already. And that'll help lift that paper backing for you to get those off. That's just a tip for you if you struggle getting them off sometimes. I know some stick better than others. And then I'm going to center this right here on top of my card base. I know, super duper duper easy. Now, a lot of you ask, don't you stamp the inside of your cards? And I'm going to answer that question tonight. Yes, of course I do, but I don't stamp the inside of my card until I'm ready to use it. The reason is I like to choose a greeting for the inside that's going to be more specifically geared towards who I'm sending it to. So if I'm sending it to a really close friend, I might choose something from the itty bitty birthday stamp set that says, I can't believe you're another year older. You're not old, you're just older. Something quirky, something fun. But if I'm sending it to a casual friend, someone I'd see occasionally, I don't have that close relationship with that I can kind of, you know, put in a little witty joke here and there. I just maybe to put something a little bit more casual, like time to celebrate. So I like to keep the inside of my cards blank until I'm ready to use them. That's just a Lisa thing. I know a lot of you like to stamp the outside and the inside all at the same time. That's entirely up to you. But I always stamp the envelope. So here I've done the exact same thing as I've done here. And I've stamped a little flower and a little bit of those leaves to coordinate. Now let me show you what I did with these. Let me just move those dimensionals out of the way. I have pulled out a clear acetate box, and these are from the Acetate Card Boxes. I think these are overlooked. When they first came out in the catalog, I want to say it was last year, they were a huge hit, and we couldn't even keep them in stock at one point. Absolutely fabulous. There are 10 inside the package. You're going to find them in the annual catalog, which is this one, the larger catalog. And I've pulled out one here. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these. They are heavy duty acetate boxes. These are not your little flimsy boxes. They are already scored and ready to go. So what I like to do is I like to kind of crease them up on those score lines. And my tip for you is to make sure that you fold these in both directions so that you can kind of break down that really thick acetate. So you're going to see that both sides are exactly the same. If you followed my YouTube channel for any period of time, you will have seen me use this in a cut down fashion. I actually cut this in half around the holidays to use as like a little treat favor. So I'm going to go ahead and just tuck this box inside. Easier said than done. I've got to hold it up against my body. I need another set of leverage. Remember I told you I had the arthritis issue in my hands, and sometimes they don't want to work like they should, especially when it's cold, and it has been cold here the last few days. So my box is open here at the top. Now, just before you join me, I took the liberty of stamping more. Look at 1, 2, 3. I've got a total of 4. I also have now 4 envelopes. We did 1 together, and I've got 4 here. So I'm going to gather these up, and I'm going to toss them down inside. Now, I'm kind of a nitpicky person. I like the flap to go towards the back side, especially if I'm giving this as a gift. So I'm going to keep the flap in the front. I'm going to take my envelopes and let me flip those around because it's all about presentation. I like a little something to show on both sides of my clear acetate box. And then I'm going to slide those down inside. So the very prettiest cards are going to be on the front of my box, and my envelopes will be on the back side of my box. I'm going to shuffle those down inside. I have found that 4 fit very nicely. Of course, right now, because you're all watching me, I got 1 stuck on the flap. The great thing about this is that you're going to be able to get a little bit more than 4 if you don't add layers to your card. Remember how we added the dimensionals to that card base? If you just use a plain card base and you stamp this right on top of it, which means we don't add the dimensionals, you can get 5, maybe 6 inside of here. And then you're going to go ahead and seal it up. But check out what I did with this. Look how pretty this is. Isn't this beautiful? This black glittered organdy ribbon was in the holiday catalog, and it has been carried over, and it is available in my online store. This ribbon here comes from a combo pack that's in the Occasions catalog. And I want to show it to you here because it is absolutely beautiful. I think it's a little bit overlooked. It's called the All My Love Ribbon Combo. So you're going to get 2 spools. You're going to get this thicker ribbon and the thinner ribbon I've used here. And all I did was layer one on top of the other. And that little bit of glitter ribbon really pizzazzes up these simple note cards. Now, I don't know if it's going to be for a birthday. Maybe you're going to give these as shower favors to your guests. Maybe you're going to offer them as gifts at a shower. Maybe if you're playing a party game, this would be a great way to give those away. Another thing is for teachers. Maybe you have a friend or a neighbor who doesn't get out very much but loves to send cards and doesn't have the resources to make their own. This makes a great gift. You can change up the greetings, not just to be birthday. Consider the other stamp sets that are in your artillery. Consider making birthday, some anniversaries, some get well. So they've got a nice assortment inside of here. Very, very simple project tonight. So again, I am using the acetate card boxes. You'll be able to find these in my online store. You're also used together the Incredible Like You stamp set. So we've used this in just an unusual manner with this little bud here. And then of course I added in the itty bitty birthdays for the greeting on this card here. I'm trying to get it all inside the camera view, and that's kind of tough, isn't it? Now let me flip the camera around for just a minute. I'm trying to read your comments, but they're going so fast I'm not be able to get through to all of them, but it looks like you guys really like them. Super simple tonight, simple stamping. This is a great project, whether you are brand new or you are seasoned. This is something that you can whip out bunches of. Keep in mind, you can alternate this gift pack. Maybe one card with birthday has the flirty flamingo, and maybe the get well has a purple flower. And maybe you have a thinking of you card that's maybe in green. You can change these up. Something that you can make really, really quick. I also want to point something else out to you, that I offer exclusive and generous online ordering rewards. So if you choose to place an order, you can do that in my online store. We're going to put the link up here after the live tonight. I'll make sure that we get to that. If you have enjoyed tonight's demonstration, I know it was quick. I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, which means it's a like. That makes YouTube and I very happy. Share it with your crafty friends on your social media platforms, and head over to lisastampstudio.com. If you scroll down, you'll be able to subscribe, I know, to my blog so you don't miss anything. In addition to that, you can sign up for my free weekly e-newsletter. There I provide a tutorial and a project I do not share on my other platforms. And I'll send it directly to your email box. There's no hype, no gimmick. Very, very simple. There's a picture and step-by-step instructions, cutting dimensions and such, so that you can use that project to inspire you. I also want to tell you that I am going to be back on, ready? I'm looking at the date. I want to make sure I don't get it wrong. It's Thursday, February 14th. And some of you are probably thinking, that's Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know. Bob the Builder and I are well past the days of standing in line to get into a restaurant on Valentine's Day, so we will celebrate that weekend. So I'm going to be here stamping with you, and I really hope that you will come back and join us. For those of you that are interested in seeing the pictures of this project, you'll be able to find the card and the finished box photographs on my blog post on Wednesday, so the day after tomorrow. As soon as we're done, Megan and I will just need a few minutes to kind of get the details down below. I will also list the supplies for you, so if you're interested in checking them out, you can do that. I am so glad you guys have joined me, quick and sweet tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for being with me. Bye-bye.